The next thing we're going to look at in the podcast today is the best top-end Garmin GPS. And say, what else could we review with Tom sat between myself and Andy here with his Garmin branded top on. So the units that we're looking at now, or we're going to put head-to-head, are GPSMAP 64S, Oregon 700, 750, Montana 610, 680. When we're looking at these top-end GPS, we are looking at them bundled with full GB mapping, aren't we? I don't think anybody would buy a GPS at this price range without 1 to 50,000 or 1 to 25,000 map cards. So we're assuming they're all loaded up with a similar type of map cards. What are the main difference between the 64S, 700, 750 and Montana 610, 680? I'll pan that over to Andy because he can explain the difference between each of those units.
Yeah, so what we look at first is the 64S unit, which is Garmin's tried and tested, tough, rugged, push-button unit. So that's going to be the big difference between the other models we're going to look at. It's a push-button unit designed for that all-season use, for someone who wants to use it all the year round and keep their gloves on, because you've got button control rather than a touch screen. Slightly smaller screen than the other units, but it's having the button control. That's, you know, that's what you tend to go for when you're buying the 64S unit. Very popular unit that we sell to, like, the forestry guys, forestry workers, national park workers, working in all weathers, you know, needing gloves on for their work as well. So that's the 64S.
Oregon 700, 750? Oh, and 752, must have been 752.
So you move up to the 700, 750s, touchscreen unit, tough Gorilla Glass screen, 3-inch screen, so you're getting a bigger screen from the 2.6-inch screen on the 64S. I think in this day and age, we're all used to using smartphones now, iPads, touchscreen. It's that faster moving around the screens, moving through menus, sunlight readable screen, quick and easy to access things. Lots of new features with the 700, 750, moving away from just the navigational side of things. Tom's mentioned about these IQ apps, because it's a GPS device now that we can add IQ apps to. We can pair these GPS devices with the Connect app on the phone to sync data from your walks and hikes and cycle rides. But the big thing you see when you turn on these new generation Oregon 700, 750 units is that they're called multi-activity units. You turn on the unit and you get prompted with hike. Go back to, you know, I mentioned about doing a lot more cycling at the moment. You've got cycle, geocache, all these preset profiles that allow you to make the units very individual. Quicker than, you know, doing that on something like a MAP 64, which I see more as a walker and hikers unit.
Brilliant. And then the Montana 610, 680, it's just a bigger unit altogether, bigger screen?
And bigger screen, so it's a 4-inch screen for someone who wants that big screen. Now, I'm talking about all weather use. You can actually, with the Montana, it doesn't have the tougher Gorilla Glass of the Oregon 700, but the screen is it's a resistive glass. That means you can't get away with using your gloves. We have a lot of trail riders on motorbikes who buy the Montana due to the fact it's got that bigger screen and keep their gloves on when they're on the motorbike. A lot of the features look very similar to what I would class as the standard sort of walking unit, like the 64S. You don't have all these multi-activity screens that you can quickly swipe to. You know, there's no reason why you can't use it for different activities. But we sell a lot of that. This unit, it's actually the trail riders is probably one of the most popular markets for the Montana. Big motorbike mount available for the back of the unit.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And that Montana has a slightly different battery on it, doesn't it? It has a lithium battery in it compared to the traditional AA we get on other Garmins.
Yeah, so the other two units, the Oregons and the MAP 64s, you just put 2 AA batteries in. Obviously, you can choose different batteries to go in there. The Montana, the nice thing is it comes with Garmin's own LiPo battery in the back of the unit that can charge in the unit. You can't, which gives really good life. You can't take that battery out and just replace it with 3 AA's, but it does come with that battery in the unit.
So then, if we put all head to head, what are the main differences? When would you go for one over the other? And I don't know, I'll bring you in there, Tom. I don't know, if you were given those 3 units, which one would you go for, and why would that be?
I'm really torn at this point between 2 models, so I'm going to sit on the fence. But 64S has been my go-to for a long, long time. I wear gloves a lot, and I did a lot of Scottish Munro work, bagging, that kind of thing. So going for that unit that's got the buttons, that's easy to use with big, thick gloves on in particular as well. Also, the GPSMAP 64 is so rugged. You can clip it on the outside of your rucksack. My rucksack can be chucked down all day. It's, you know, a bomb-proof unit. But the new Oregon system and that multi-activity, and like I say, more and more people are doing more activities now. My Oregon can go for a walk with me, I can go geocaching, I can stick it on the front of my mountain bike, and everything's there ready to go at the touch of a button. So I am now leaning more and more towards the the Oregon multi-activity.
Andy, which one would you go for?
Me, straight away, I've loved using my new Oregon over the last year, and I'm using it for walking, hiking, cycling. I take my little girl out geocaching with it. Now, all these other units, you can do these things with them, but it just makes it so much quicker that you just swipe the screen from turning it on to say, oh, I'm geocaching today, I'm cycling, I want that turn-by-turn routing on the roads, I'm hiking. It's a mid-sized unit, so it's not too bulky to carry, but at the same time you have that nice size screen.
And when you're talking about geocaching, people hopefully know geocaching like a treasure hunt with GPS units.
Yeah,
Big thing with the Oregon 700, 750 range is we can do live geocaching with that. So we can sync it with the Connect app on our smartphone, Android or iPhone. And then instead of having to download the caches and transfer them over via USB cable, we can actually just do it live, can't we, Andy? And that's a massive
Yeah, I mean, that's a feature we didn't mention about pairing with a phone. So with the Oregon 700, 750, any of you are into this electronic treasure hunting, which is great fun with the kids, adults, gets everyone out and about, live geocaching by syncing with your phone's a great feature as well.
Fantastic. So we're a bit torn there, kind of, but I think we're kind of all pushing towards the. I firmly
would ask you, John.
Yeah, well, I'm an Oregon 700, 750. I'm an Oregon 750 user. I like that multi-activity. I love the connectivity of a smartphone because I enjoy burying my smartphone in the bottom of my rucksack and then cycling. I was just actually. Tom doesn't know this, he sat next to me. I was cycling around Keele the other day when he phoned me on a Friday, and I saw on my handlebars it was Tom ringing me. I didn't stop, I just left to go to answer machine and carried on enjoying my cycle ride. Where if it had been somebody, if it had been my mother phoning, I would have stopped and answered that call. So I think that's really nice because actually I'm just getting into the spirit thing, doing a bit of mountain biking, and then I don't want to stop. I just carry on because I know who it is. And again, you get your notifications off your apps and things on it. I really like that. I think it's a great feature. So personally, I think I would go for the Oregon 700. So I think we're kind of there. Oregon 700, 750. Winter Walkers 64S, as Tom said, good proven units, isn't it? So that's our look at the best top-end Garmin GPS units.